Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video here today, and something a little bit different, and a video I've been wanting to make for a little while now. And this, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, is going to be an updated video on my wheel settings on F1 2019. The reason being is because the previous video I made way back in June is actually pretty outdated now, and I also discovered something since that video which I thought was quite interesting. So first of all, we're going to jump into the settings. Now you can do this via on track or in the options. If you want to go through the game options, you can do it through here, as you see on screen. I'm going to jump onto the track just to give you guys a different perspective, and also while I'm at it, I'll try and get some thumbnails for the video. But let's go into time trial real quick and we'll load up, and then I'll get back to you guys in a second. Okay then guys, so here we are then in the garage in the Renault team, and we're going to jump into the settings. So these are the settings I run personally. These are what I like, and that is kind of my disclaimer. So these may not be good for you possibly, and yeah, hopefully I can some way help you guys with these. So we're going to jump into the controls tab, and we're going to go all the way down to our actual preset, which in my case is right here. So first thing I want to speak about, and a few things I want to get out of the way. I use a Thrustmaster TS PC Racer wheel. I'm on the PC, and I also use T3PA pedals. So with that in mind, that is what I drive with. I've also driven with the Logitech G29 in this game as well, and I find these settings work good for both wheels. Having said that, I want to mention this real quick. So the previous video is outdated for the following reason. That back then was a different situation, because it turns out I actually had a glitch, because in the video in itself I had maximum strength on my force feedback strength tab, which was 150, and it wasn't really that strong. So given after a little while, after a couple of months, there was a patch that dropped, and suddenly my wheel felt super strong, and I turned it all down. So yeah, on screen you can see now my current settings. It's also worth noting that I run 360 degrees rotation on the wheel for F1 games. That's what you should be running, and that's what I personally run. So vibration and force feedback strength on, vibration and force feedback strength on 120. That's what I like. I would go up to maybe 125, but I find that does become a little bit distracting at times for the video, because I don't want the noise to come through the microphone too much in my case. On-track effects is anything to do with sliding on the tarmac, possible marbles as well, and also lockups. So that's what you're going to feel with the on-track effects, and that's depending on how heavy you want that. Rumble strip is literally just the curbs, or rumble strip, or even drag strip, depends on what you call it, but it's the traditional things you see on the outside and the inside of the apexes on the racetracks. And then the off-track effects is grass, gravel, and also off-track tarmac. So again, that is down to your preference and what you prefer. And then wheel damper is simply a general way of giving the wheel some extra weight in the dead zone areas. As you see at the bottom, the strength of the tire forces through the racing wheels. So you will tend to notice this more at lower speed. I have this quite low. It's just I prefer it this way. I tend to use the vibration and force feedback strength as my heavy setting. So if I feel like I need more weight, I'll add it on in this setting rather than on the wheel damper. So hopefully that helps. And then just to confirm it and show you guys again, I run 0 on absolutely everything here on all of these settings. And if you need some help with these, it's very simple. So in each of them, you've got dead zone, linearity, and saturation, whether it's throttle, brake, or steering. Dead zone is very simple. It means there's going to be a dead space. So even though you press the whatever button it may be, whether it's the accelerator or the brake, there's going to be a dead zone. So you press it and nothing happens until you get past a certain percentage, and you go from 0 to 100. So say if you've got 20% dead zone, then nothing's going to happen when you press the throttle 20%, because it's going to be applied so that there's no active movement there. In terms of linearity, it's a similar concept, but a little bit different. So linearity actually gives a delayed effect. So when you turn, it will register that it's happening, but it will be a lot less. And then suddenly towards the end of the turning range, it will pick up. So that's something that maybe you won't want to have. If you like to maybe turn the wheel a lot, that's something you could do possibly. It also same applies for the throttle and the brake pedal. So essentially, you'll be maxing out a lot later on when you press the throttle or the brake a lot later on. And then finally, we have saturation, which is the opposite. So it increases the sensitivity. So if you turn this up, it's going to mean that the wheel or the pedals are going to be really aggressive at first apply, if that makes sense. So when you first apply them, they're going to be a lot more responsive, and you're going to get a lot more, and then it's going to kind of gradually deteriorate later on. So yeah, those are kind of the settings really. Like I said, I run everything on 0, and these are my force feedback settings, which are ultimately the crucial settings and what you need to know for it to feel good. And yeah guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, drop a like on the video, and also subscribe if you are new guys for daily Formula 1 content, and also MotoGP content coming up very soon. And also guys, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But guys, that's it for this one, and I'll see you on my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.